I see that you're an owner of a gym, Kickside Martial Arts. Is that true?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, I'm curious how you balance your life between training, fighting, business, and then you have the military, right? So,
Yes.
how are you
Yeah.
juggling all of this stuff? It's a lot.
It's a job in itself, juggling it all. I'll say that I have really good employees, really good staff, so that helps. But yeah, if I'm not training for one thing or doing one thing, I'm pretty much doing any of the other two, and 99% of the time I'm doing two things at once. To actually give you a little insight, I'm going to military training the next day after the fight. So I'll fight on the 10th, and then I'll go to Fort Polk, Louisiana for 15 days and be in the woods, and then I'll come back and I'll run my business. So it's like a dance. It's a lot of balance. It's ebbing and flowing the entire time. Obviously, when I have a fight, it takes majority of my time, if not all of it. But as soon as it's settled down, I always have something else to take its lead. So it's busy, to say the least.
Do you like your lifestyle like that, or do you take time from to unwind and charge up, stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I say I've always been busy. Even in college, I was doing four things at once. As an NCAA athlete, as a civil engineer, I was in leadership positions. So I don't know how to sit still. So it's better for me to have things that keep me busy. And I think the nice thing about all of it is MMA takes obviously a lot of discipline, a lot of physical intensity. The business side kind of works my creativity a little bit, and then the army side, the military side, kind of mixes both of them together. So I'd say it keeps me on point and keeps me sharp in terms of dealing with different things, because it's not all physical, it's not all mental. It's a good balance. So yes, gives me a break on some ends, but then challenges me in others. So I can't complain.
So basically, you're problem solving all the time.
Yes, 110% of the time there's something going on that requires my attention.
Exactly. Well, UFC 279, that's going to be the next event for you. You're facing Melissa Martinez, undefeated prospect, Combate's champion. Thoughts on the matchup and her fighting style?
I love the matchup. Obviously, I like anybody that wants to try to strike. I want to put on a show for everybody, and striking is what I think is the most exciting. And I'm biased, but I also think that this is going to be a matchup where I get to showcase a little bit different skill sets. So we went very hard in this camp. Um, Definitely wrestling, definitely ground. Obviously, if stand-ups there, that's what we're going to go to. But we're excited for this one.
Yeah, I look at the matchup and I see your style. Then I go back and watch her fights previously and see like your guys' finishes and stuff like that. It's a striker's delight. That's what I think fans are gonna expect. But they don't know yet. To be honest with you, they don't know yet.
No, and if I'm being frank, I don't know yet. I think I've put in very little time in the division, but enough time to where people don't want to strike. And she's had a decent amount of time off between fights, so she could come in with a completely different game plan. So like I said, we've been practicing ground, stand up, all of it, because we want to be able to shut her down in any spot.
This will be your second fight in the UFC inside of an arena with the crowd. How was that experience in London, with the crowd and the fans? Because the fans in London or in the UK are pretty wild.
Yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was the funniest part was after there was obviously the crowd was amazing. I realized that they weren't necessarily rooting for me 100% of the time, but when we get back up there and we're having drinks with my family, and I'm wearing some type of shirt, and one of the UK fans is like, what the fuck? Are you a Viking? And I was like, I fight like a Viking. And then one of her friends realized that I was that I had just fought, and they're like, no fucking way. And I got beers the entire time. So no, I love the UK. I love a crowd. I love the stadium. I think that's the biggest dream of a fighter, is to be, to hear those oohs and ahs and hear the stuff on the canvas. And so I'm very excited to have another opportunity in front of some fans.
Yeah, embracing the fandom that the UFC platform brings, you know, is it sometimes overwhelming, or are you enjoying the whole thing?
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, it's insane. But of course, I'm enjoying the whole thing. You know, honestly, as much as the craziness is there, you know, every fighter started local and has their group that's watching in front of a TV. You know what I mean? So I fight for everybody, and it's really nice to have you know, an audience that of that size in the UFC. So yeah, no, it's insane. It's insane, but it's absolutely amazing.
Any odd interactions with fans?
Outside being called a Viking and being like tugged on my shirt, no, I mean we've definitely shared some beers, but I haven't had any fans that were. It's all been positive, so it's all good. Yeah, yeah.
That's great to hear. And you know, you've had 3 fights so far in the UFC. You know, what have you experienced throughout those camps or those fights that you think will benefit you moving forward with your career?
I think the adversity. I think I came into the UFC, you know, with a solid wake up call, and not that I wasn't talented or skilled beforehand, but I think you know, everybody's goal is to get to the UFC, and then you get there, and just as a professional, everybody's working their, you know, their ass off and working to put it on a show. And it's definitely humbled me to where now I, you know, bite down on the mouthpiece and we get back to work. So seeing the adversity and going back to work and putting a game plan together and hitting it even harder than that. You know, there's an article about breaking bricks, and the good thing is when you break boards and they break, it feels great. It's a great show, right? Everybody loves it. The worst part is breaking or trying to break a brick, like a patio brick, and it doesn't break. It doesn't get softer. It doesn't get any, you know what I mean? It's still a brick, and you got to hit it harder after your arm is already swelling up and bruised. So that's pretty much what this fight is, and we're ready to go back and hit it harder. So I'm ready.
Before you headed into camp, did you work outside your inner circle any?
Yeah, absolutely. We were traveling cross camps in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. We were getting as much work as possible. The best thing that my coach is he is not somebody that he knows that he has all the answers in MMA. There are a million styles and a million teachers, and he pretty much said in the first, I want to say, month, he was like, listen, go out there, get as much information as you can, find out what works with your style, and then come back and we'll hit it hard to get ready for this camp. So very fortunate that I have a coach like that. Allows me to see other coaches and get that experience, not just with the other coaches, but with the other, you know, athletes and fighters. So no, we're excited. We're stoked.
You have to be open-minded. This game is still developing, and there's so many styles that we haven't even seen yet, I don't think. So yeah, you do have to go see those things before you actually just face them in the cage, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Where are you splitting your time now for the actual training camp?
So Carnicella MMA is one that's in Clifton, and then obviously at Kickside is the other one. So they have a good set of wrestlers up there in Clifton, and so we've been doing easily 3, sometimes 4 days a week there, and then 2-3 days at Kickside, and of course weights and everything else. So I mean we're still hitting it like it's middle of the camp, just because we want to get every ounce of work in. But yeah, it's pretty much Carnicella MMA and then Kickside martial arts.
You posted a picture of your progress so far in camp. You know, it said 11% body fat. Is that normal or better than previous camps?
I'm normally a fairly lean person. I think I probably max out at maybe 13. But being 11 and at the weight that I am is where I'm the most excited, because I can always get, you know, I was a 105 fighter, so I can always get lean when I get lighter. But to be there and still have a weight cut to go, yeah, we're gonna fucking wreck it. It's gonna be good.
Have you gone to the PI and taken those tests that they give the athletes?
No, but I want to so bad. Every time I go there and I have a fight, I always have to get out of Dodge as soon as it's over. So obviously I have Army training immediately after the next day, but hopefully before the next fight, before we hit the camp, I'll go over there for a few days and they'll run me through the rigorous tests that they have, and we can see actually how I stand up. But you know, it's the dream of an athlete to get all those numbers and figure out how strong you are and how, how much endurance you have. So so I still look forward to it. It's on my list. Just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how you stack up against the other athletes in your division, and even athletes in the division up or down. That I think they do that. But are you still working with the PI in some capacity, even though you didn't take those tests?
Oh yeah. I still weight cutting especially. I still have the Oura ring, so they still give us plenty of information and help. Again, it's like a toy store, the PI and what they have for us. So yeah, unfortunately, I haven't been able to hang out there and get the test done, but they do help me out.
What have they altered for you?
So it's been supplements primarily. I don't do a good job having the supplements, and they pretty much gave me the baseline of what to take and how to take it, and I've been sticking to it there. So that's why I'm so big now. Yeah, so it's pretty much supplements, and then macros a little bit, but they have the setup with Thorne, so that's what I've been using.
Supplements are the most annoying thing to take, right? It's just.
And I only take 3. Like I don't even take the 7 things at night and the 7 things in the morning. I mean, USADA only hits me up like once a quarter because they know that I have maybe whey protein and creatine, and it's very very bland. But yeah, they are. It's discipline in itself just to stay on your supplements.
It is.
It's a whole game.
It is. And how do you expect to give Martinez her first loss?
Finish. I think it's gonna be grind. So the nice thing is people have seen in my some of my fights pretty much more so. I mean, I was fast with Corey, but more so before UFC, where I have a solid pace. And I look forward to putting that on her and being able to mix it up, stand up or on the ground. So it's gonna be her worst nightmare, pretty much, is what's gonna happen. Wherever she wants to take it, I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be smiling ear to ear, ready to put in some work.
There you go. In the main event, Nate Diaz or Khamzat Chimaev, who you got?
I love Nate. I love the gangster part of Nate. I called it when he fought Conor. I was like, Nate's a shit talker. He's going to get in his head. And obviously the first one went that way, but Chimaev has really good skill, so I don't think he's gonna fall for Nate Diaz's, theatrics in the octagon. But I would love Nate to pull through. I'm going for Nate. That's my vote. Do I think it's going to happen? He's been out for so long. Probably not, but I gotta go with the OG. So
there's a lot of fighters that are just not really picking Nate, but they want Nate to win.
Oh yeah. Everybody
wants.
Oh yeah. I mean, because he has just been like, he's UFC but not UFC. Like I think he posted a video with USADA visiting him, smoking weed. Like of course, who's not gonna want that guy to win? Chimaev, obviously very very skilled. Very very dangerous in the division. Is gonna have a title at some point. But yeah, you just kind of want the guy that's smoking weed in the back to take it this one. So we'll see what happens.